a sloppy fight, not necessarily the easiest one to score, but Tevin Farmer don't throw enough, and he hold a lot, and he hold a lot. And to beat these guys, you gotta beat these guys. You ain't gonna go neck and neck with them and get the decision. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we all these guys is world level guys. They world class guys. And like I say, you when you shit, I won't even say the B side. You the C side. When you don't, if you don't do that, you gonna have to. You gotta make them where they know you won the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like even like Shane Mosley when he fought De La Hoya the first time. No, it was a good fight. He was winning early or it was close. Then De La Hoya started to win a little bit, and then he had to pull it out. You gotta. When you watch boxing, you know how the fighter win. Just like with LaRoche, he needed to pull out. He needed to do a little bit more. Maybe he should have stepped on the gas in that 12th round instead of dancing around, let Tank slide around and move around and play around and really fought, walked with him with his hands up, been the aggressor, let his hands go to try to, you know what I mean? Because this is don't you can celebrate after you win, but you gotta win. You can't stop fighting, and even if you're down. That's what the motto is. That's what it's expected. You can't stop letting it until you either what I'm saying, either you won like Sweet Pea. Sometimes he beat and won the whole fight, then he does the last round. He don't do nothing, But if it's a close fight, you gotta finish strong. And so I don't think that Kevin Farmer, he not winning he not winning the fights by a big enough margin. Let me say that. But to for him, and sometimes again too, you have to take solace in what you have accomplished. That's what I want to tell him. What he's accomplished and making the money and living a life. Like I say, he could be in a factory. But he living a boxing life, getting treated like royalty, and just hold your head. At least he could say he held the championship at one point in time. He's real respected. He's definitely a respected fighter. Tank didn't want to fight him. A lot of other guys didn't want to fight him. He was avoided for a long time. So he had a career though, and that's better than a lot of them most. So shout out to Tevin Farmer, man. Keep pushing. And he just came out and said he had Tourette syndrome. I didn't really put two and two together, but I guess I can see it now. So I mean, this guy just resilient, from having a losing record to battling Tourette's for I don't know how long, to losing close fights, to being avoided, to being, what I mean? So Tevin Farmer, if he don't know nothing else, he better look himself in the mirror and know that he a real one. He's a champion. He's not, you know what I'm saying? Actually, he was a champion in the world for real, and he's a champion in life. So with them type of abilities, if it's hard as good as I think it is, you know what I mean? Hell, man, go ahead. He got a big future ahead of him. So shout out to Tevin Farmer. I wish him the best.
Mm. Oscar De La Hoya is talking about, trying to make that William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson fight next. What do you
Yeah,
think? You
got
think
to,
yeah?
got to, because they've been saying they was gonna fight Williams and Payda. Again, this guy is a dangerous guy. I mean, he's a slick guy, Tevin Farmer. And he's just getting experience at Pater. Maybe he not be everything that we thought he was or everybody thought he was, but at 30-something year, 34-0 or whatever, and all the money they didn't put in him, so he's the interim champion, which basically he's the number one contender for the championship. And Shakur Stevenson, who really don't have, it's not, you know what I mean, outside of the big three, the big other three that he got, it's really nobody to fight. He has the highest profile pretty much outside of them. Like I say, under them is Morataya, and this guy. If I'm just thinking correctly, and so it's a big fight. This guy throws a lot of punches, and Shakur, he thrives on that. That's where he thrives at because he's a counter puncher. So this guy's gonna, it's gonna obviously be different, but kind of similar. I think, but Tevin is a little more. He just got a more different, slicker style where he roll his head a little bit more, where he hold a little bit. He punch off his jab, he moving his head. Shakur just really a walk to you guys, step out the way, slip. You know what I mean? Just kind of make you
Yeah.
miss by an inch. So it's a good fight. And Shakur, for what it's worth, this guy Kid Austin tapped out the fight. It was supposed to be a big fight. The guy was supposed to be a bruiser. We was gonna see how he deal with it. He fought this guy and he stopped him in 9 rounds. And I want to say this, you know, but the public is so terrible. But this guy's an electrician, but so what? He got to have a real job. When you're a boxer, if you're not making the big bucks, you got to do something to offset it. You know what I mean? Somebody's paying that bill, whether it be your manager or the team around you. You know, somebody got to fit your lifestyle for you to box. And this guy had to do it. So I salute him for that. But again, to make 135 pounds, grown man, come on, bro. He was in shape already. So that's it. He just got to split his time with this and this. And that ain't Emmanuel Stewart had a job. He trained fighters, but Emmanuel Stewart had a real job. I don't know if you knew that, but he had a real job. You know what I mean? So I won't take nothing away from Padley. I give a lot of credit to Padley. And Shakur looked sharp. You know, he stepped it up. He looked sharp, and I didn't expect no less against Kid Austin. But they pussied out. So with that being said, him and Zepeda is a good fight. They got to fight. They on the same side. Zepeda earned his shot. He won the fights. It was a draw the first time or however, but he ended up coming out victorious and he won the fight. And let's just go. It ain't no need. Is there no need for no third fight? You know what I'm saying? Because it was on Chevin Farmer to just beat him. Feel me? It wasn't. It was a pick 'em fight. So we on to the next.
Mm, mm. Um, what's your thoughts on Top Rank and PBC wanting to do business, more business together, make some of these fights and put cards together? Um, I guess on boxing scene they were talking about even possibly entertaining fights with Tank Davis as well.
I mean, you got to. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense because at some point the sides gotta collide. If I got a star over here and a star over here, and we all boxing fans, he over here, we gonna want them to collide. We got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the boxing thing, like I want, we need as many boxers as we can for real because it's always a boxer for every occasion. We need as many boxers as we can, and if we want to have a sport, you just got to treat them right. You got to just treat these boxers right. It's good to have a roster, and you treat them, you got to treat them accordingly, but you treat them fair. You know what I'm saying? What he say? He said, I give them enough to where they need me, but they don't hate me. I give them just enough to where they need me, but they don't hate me. So you got to give these guys, if you got a guys on your roster, they're fillers. You need fillers, too. You know what I'm saying? For the stars, if they everybody can't fight the stars all the time, all the stars can't fight. So you got to fight different levels of fighters. And either way, it's a performance. Boxing is a business. So, um, yeah, man, the working together is about the best thing they can do. We can't get nothing done without working together, and that's in everything. Whether at your job, where it's this, it takes a village in everything that we're doing. So we got to have some type of collaboration, man. And if we in boxing, you know what I'm saying? Come on, you listen. Your superstar. What if something happened to him? Boxers always been having problems since the beginning of time. Whether it be just life in general, boxers come in contact with life. So you can't put all your eggs in no basket, no how. Anything can happen to him. Like Vernon Forrest, he was kind of dumb, but at the same time, like, listen, he in a get in a shootout and get shot. Somebody stealing his car. Just never know what's gonna happen. So you definitely got to work with these guys, and you can't hold on to them. They said I read this quote. It's what it said. It said it was actually long, but he said the ship is safe in the harbor, but that ain't what it's made for. Your champion might be, but he ain't made to be protected. He out there to fight. So let him fight. All right.
So that being said,
Yeah.
um, what do you think they were actually talking about certain matchups per se, and
Mhm.
Tank Davis and Lomachenko being one of them? Um,
Mhm.
tell me, do you like that fight? Is it
I
too?
love to fight.
Yeah,
No, it ain't too late. It ain't too late. It ain't
perfect.
too late because, like I say, if again, I'm a history. I love the history of boxing, and you watch it. Lomachenko, he probably what 36, 35, 30, something like that right now.
He's in the
But
middle
he
there.
ain't took no punishment. Lomachenko ain't been beat on his whole career. Lomachenko ain't been beat on. So listen, it's the you he reached such a high level, and the training camps and the leaving the family. That's where them guys be at after a certain time. Man, I'm already rich, already won every damn thing. Man, I'm sick of this shit. Man, I'm sick of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick of this shit. When I was really anxious and ready to go, I did what I could. I got who I got. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's forget it now, and especially with the Devin Haney situation, you know what I mean? He worked so hard, put everything into that. You know what I mean? To lose a fight like that he put so much emotion and so much, everything in. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Then what they say, now this guy want to fight me, man, leave me alone, bro. I'm on somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But as time go on, you know what I'm saying? He let him get himself back together, which he deserved that. You know what I'm saying? Let himself rest up. Let him think about what he want to do because our minds change. You know what I'm saying? From time to time. So what we feel today might not necessarily be tomorrow. And he deserved that right. So if they're gonna fight, I think it's a good fight. I don't think that he's that past it. And we seen where Tank is at. You know what I mean? He's not otherworldly as we thought he was. You know what I mean? So he's a really good fighter, and it's a good